Hi, I'm Meshea.
Hi, I'm Peggy.
And we are Hitting the Road in Mississippi. Hello everyone, this is Meshea with Hitting the Road in Mississippi, and I am here with Miss Hit the Road herself, Peggy Brown. I am so honored to be here with you.
Thanks, Meshea. I'm honored to be here with you.
We actually hit the road this week, folks.
We actually hit the road this week event.
It
was the
was.
Governor's Excellence Award in the Arts, and it's held every year in the state of Mississippi.
Well, why was it significant to us? Why did we hit the road for it? Of course, we're about all of the arts, but it was like really, really significant to us.
It was really, really significant this year because King Edward Antoine was nominated as the winner in the music category. So it was. Okay, here I am with King Edward Antoine. Right, so when you got this wonderful award that's over here, that's a heavy statue.
Sure was. I was trying to give it to somebody else to carry.
Well, I got it for you.
Yeah,
you
so
know.
yeah, you said, let me have this. Then after you picked it up, you said, wow, I'm ready to give it to somebody else. It was fun, though.
It was fun.
Real nice.
Was there one part of the day that was the best, or?
One part of the day was the best is when I was on that stage singing to him.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it there because that's when I could see everybody was into it.
Right.
And, I said, oh, yeah, I got them now.
You did have them now.
That's right. I got it.
And I mean, because those people, I didn't see them because I was, facing the stage and you were looking out there. But I heard people in the back row were standing up, moving.
Yeah, they all come telling me, why you stop? I was dancing.
They did say that, didn't they?
I got it.
And so what we were saying was that when they handed the microphone to you, you actually were supposed to say something, but something got a little messed up. And so you just sang it.
That's right.
You didn't have to speak words of
That's
thank
right.
you.
I just ran into it. I knew how to cover it up and speak.
And it worked great, didn't it?
That's right.
About each of the honorees, there was a video put up about each of the honorees and things that were, pictures of their art and things they'd done. And so when it got to King Edward, he was the last honoree because then he was going to sing right after he was presented. And just the video that was up there that had scenes from the subway and even a video from the subway. And, the mention of him being in the documentary Last of the Mississippi Jukes and pictures that I had taken of him, I guess, that were gotten from the internet. And there were a bunch of really good pictures up there. And I could remember where we were for that picture and where we were for that picture. And so it was just a real good representation. And then in the bio, which I wrote.
There she goes.
There you go.
I'm getting her there, folks.
They read parts of his bio, of course, which was wonderful. But naming all the people that he had played with in Chicago. And so they were calling these people's names out, and they flashed pictures of those artists up on the video too. And it was like, wow, that was just so impressive. Not just to man, this man he's notable.
Oh, yeah.
And even if they weren't thinking that before, but just to know all the people that he's rubbed elbows with and played with in his blues career of over 50 years, 60 years at this point. So anyway, that was that. And when it was over, people were just so happy and came up to him and said, I used to hear you at the Subway Lounge. I used to see you at the Subway Lounge and you sound so good. And it was really, really special for him.
Well, even though the event was over, officially over, the combo just kept playing the music.
Exactly.
While people are supposed to be filing out, but nobody was filing out because everybody's coming up getting their picture made with him.
Right.
The band's getting their picture made. Once they finally stopped playing music, then they all came and got their picture made. But the senator was over getting his picture made. And then people were coming to have their picture made with the senator and King Edward. And so there were, I don't know how long we were there making pictures. And the band just kept playing for a long time.
And people that were there went, man, We wish he could have sung longer. We wanted to dance.
Yes.
And from what I hear, some people in the back were standing up, kind of moving to the music. So that's what it's all about. That's exactly what that music is all about.
It is. It makes you absolutely.
And to bring everybody together and
yeah.
And they want to move to the music. That's the magic of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely it was. So that was, and such an upbeat way of ending it, although none of it was a downer by any means.
No.
I mean, 7 sounds like a lot, but they were poets, they were writers, they were all inspiring people, and many of them read from their work. It was all
inspiring.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was like it just built up, and then King just exploded. So it was really good.
It was excellent.
Yeah. And I think really if that King would have just stayed up there and just kept singing while everybody filed out, if we would have let him. He would have. But then I don't think anybody would have filed out. So I think we would have still been there.
I think that somebody came and got the microphone from him. But
they did.
Kept going.
I think they did. But, so we finally got out of the building.
Yes, we did.
And another mad dash in the rain.
Another mad dash in the cold rain.
In the cold rain this time.
Yes.
It was cold.
We went to the Mississippi State Governor's Mansion.
And the governor's wife is delightful.
And she was overseeing it all. Yes. The governor was out of town, as I understand, but she was delightful.
She is.
So King Edward got delivered under the awning to the side, the portico place.
We did not.
We did not. We parked down on the street, ran through the rain.
In the rain.
And it's real impressive to go to the governor's mansion because you get stopped at the gate. And, of course, our names were on the list, thankfully. And that was the whole point of that. People were not let in whose names were not on the list. No. And so, we were vetted in that way. And then came in and got our name tags and got King Edward and June in there. And they were, at this point, they were really, 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 really tired. And so the photographer had set up the schedule to be that he would get a group picture of them, of all the honorees together. And then at that point, anybody, could leave and go. And all of the honorees were just pretty worn out. It had been a long day. And so the governor's wife then presented each of the honorees with their award. These are bronze sculptures that are heavy, placed on a wooden base and designed by William Dunlap.
Right.
And Mesha's going to read a little bit of the description because I can't remember it all, but impressive. And it's called a Mackie.
Right.
And I mean heavy because I got to carry it out of the governor's mansion to put it in my car to take it to King Edward's house the next day. But if you would just tell us what it's like.
Designed by William Dunlap, the award coined the Mackie by the Board of Commissioners are winged figure sculptures cast in bronze entitled Fragment. Dunlap calls his art aesthetic archaeology, noting that the winged figure appeared in Western European mythology long before the biblical representation of the archangel. According to Dunlap, the image is as fresh as yesterday, yet looks as though it could have been made thousands of years ago. Mm-hmm. One of the most well-known winged figures in classical art is Nike, the Greek goddess of victory, certainly an appropriate symbol to recognize the deserving honorees of the Governor's Art Awards. It's art.
It's art. It's
which
beautiful.
Is very fitting.
Yes.
Very fitting.
Yeah.
And I think all of the artists who got one were blown away by it. They were blown away by it.
And they also got a framed poster of the event that the governor had autographed for them. And so that was really special, not only to be honored, but to receive the beautiful. I'm so glad to have June there. And then I need to bring this big old statue over. Hang on one second. Okay. This is his statue.
That's right.
I know, right?
That's
and
it.
It's beautiful.
That's right. Thank
you.
And
it's heavy. And if you don't watch out, it'll stick you in the eye.
And Miss June.
And there's June. Hey, June, wave to the camera. Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Sculpture.
So hitting the road, on the road, we weren't able to bring it to you play by play. We would have loved to, but as you can tell, we had our hands full.
We were kind of busy.
Peggy had her hands full. I don't know what I was doing, folks. I was there I was support. But it was a busy day. We would have loved to have covered it as like a travel vlog normally would. But there was no way to do that and be all that we needed to be in the moment and to stay out of the way. And there's just so many good things from this, but most of all, what was done for King Edward, and the stories of all the people who did good things for King Edward because of this, and then the stories of everyone coming together, and Miss Dorothy and Eddie and John and the senator. At one point, King Edward called him Senator. Senator Horn, actually, is what he called him. And the senator, there was nobody else around. And he's like, "What did you say?" He goes, "How many years have I been John?" He goes, Don't do that. I'm John. Me and you, I'm John. You know, and King just laughed and he goes, "Oh, okay, John." Okay. It's things like that I love seeing. That, I mean, because the senator was really, it wasn't put on, you know, because he wasn't aware that I'm watching from the eyes of a storyteller. You know, Dorothy and Eddie interacted with each other. And seeing John wanted Eddie to do that because Eddie learned from King. But once they got there, then it was, "Oh, my knee. Eddie needs to do that." You know, which I know his knees do hurt, but that's John's heart. And I know John, so I know that's John's heart. And he knew that Eddie needed to do it. You know, so it's just, there's so many stories that unfolded there, and then the sisters stepping up and thinking of things like that, and then then Keith stepping up, and then Malcolm doing what he did, and the hotels doing what they did, and the commission doing all the stuff they did. Their hands are full putting the thing on. All the above and beyond that they did, and then afterwards coming up and having their pictures made and being so respectful. You know, so there's so many stories within this story.
Right. Yeah. So it go to show you how many people that know me around the world, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. So I appreciate you for doing all this for me.
Oh.
And we'll do it again, okay?
Oh, we will do it again.
And so that if I told her we were going to do it, she wouldn't have done. There's also the story of Peggy and what Peggy did for all of this, because she has worked with King all these years. She works with him all the time, behind the scenes, doing things for him behind the scenes, helping him get the CD, which he acknowledged over the course of these events, which has been the 50 years CD.
50 Years of Blues.
50 Years of Blues.
Yeah.
There's so many things that Peggy has done. Of course, it's King's career, and we would not take anything from that. But Peggy's life's work and her passion is interwoven into all of this. She's worked with the senator, she's worked with Eddie, she's worked with John, she's worked with the Blues Society, she's worked with Blues Society members who she has such respect and admiration for, and she always is giving them credit. And, you know, she's always saying, no, this one did that and that one did this, and she doesn't take credit for it. So I want to acknowledge that and then after the fact, the day after, she's contacting all of these people who helped, and she's acknowledging what they did. And so I just want to acknowledge that, and that's a big story, because that kind of dedication and humility, that is the kind of energy that keeps things like this going. That knowing that we're all part of a story, and that none of us is the story ourselves. We're all just part of the story. And that, yes, there are people who are the huge part of the story, certainly the king here, and then people like Dorothy. But it's all the small stories that are in there that matter too. And the things you do are not small by any means, but you do small things. You do the ordinary every day, diligently.
Well,
and that's extraordinary. And that's why I do this, is because I look for the ordinary that people are doing that create the extraordinary. And so many people were doing ordinary things that have allowed these people to be extraordinary, and they know that, and it shows. That's why they take all these pictures with the people and they perform for them. And so I think this epitomizes why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Get the guitar player round of applause, y'all. Make it play. Come home right now to me. I'll be waiting at home, waiting on you. Bring your pretty self home. Bring your pretty self home. The prettiest thing I ever seen. I'll buy your Cadillac car and a diamond ring. If you only bring your pretty self home, your pretty self home. Bring your pretty self home. Bring your pretty self home. Everything gonna be alright. Alright.
Thank you for joining us, and you can reach out to us at this email address, htrprb@gmail.com. We'd love to hear any ideas you might have about what we're doing, or any suggestions about where we might go or someone we might interview.
As we are hitting the road in Mississippi.